Lionel Messi and Sergio Ramos set for PSG exits amid contract dispute and Saudi offers. Lionel Messi and Sergio Ramos are both out of contract at Paris Saint-Germain this summer, and both are now weighing up offers from Saudi Arabia amid PSG budget cuts. Lionel Messi and Sergio Ramos are both seriously considering leaving Paris Saint-Germain this summer after the club put their contract talks on hold amid offers from Saudi Arabia. The French giants have concerns they will face fresh Champions League sanctions for further financial fair play (FFP) breaches after being hit with a €10 million fine for their 2020-21 season accounts, with a €45 million suspended fine for future breaches. The French league leaders were dumped out of the competition with a tame 3-goal aggregate loss against Bayern Munich earlier this month. Now, they are aiming to restructure their squad to drastically reduce outgoings and comply with financial regulations. Fresh Lionel Messi PSG demand made after Cristiano Ronaldo transfer proposal. Lionel Messi has received a transfer proposal from Saudi Arabia but faces fresh criticism at Paris Saint-Germain after the club paused contract extension discussions. Former France international forward Christophe Dugarry has demanded Lionel Messi makes a statement clarifying his future after being offered a transfer proposal that would put him on the same wage packet as Cristiano Ronaldo. Messi's father Jorge traveled to Saudi Arabia this week after a reported offer arrived as Paris Saint-Germain paused the superstar's contract renewal talks. Ronaldo completed a stunning move to Saudi Arabian club Al Nassr 2 months ago and will earn in the region of £173 million per year. It is reported the offer to Messi contains the same conditions as Ronaldo's, with the contract offer encompassing not only the player's main wage but also their image rights and several contractual responsibilities. The development has further muddied the waters on the player's future. Title challengers Manchester City face a big game at home to Liverpool on Saturday, with top scorer Erling Haaland facing a race against time to be fit for the clash. Manchester City face a nervous wait, with Erling Haaland not spotted in training ahead of this weekend's match against Liverpool. Premier League top scorer Haaland sat out Norway's first 2 Euro 2024 qualifiers through injury, leaving him a doubt to return in time for Saturday's game. The 22-year-old played just over an hour of City's last game, an FA Cup quarter-final victory over Burnley, before leaving the field with a groin problem. City are gearing up for the title run-in, but may have to begin that process without their star man. Haaland was nowhere to be seen in Wednesday's or Thursday's session, with the Saturday lunchtime kickoff at the Etihad Stadium drawing ever closer. Arsenal are already learning from new Premier League trend after Antonio Conte Tottenham failure. Conte departed Tottenham at the weekend less than 2 years after taking the job in North London and having won titles everywhere else he had been. It was always going to end this way. As predictable as another Fast and Furious centered around family, or the 90th rebranded version of the Death Star being destroyed. You did not have to be a soothsayer to predict Antonio Conte's Spurs regime would go up in flames. As much as this failure can be attributed to a club completely losing its way and stumbling to grasp instant gratification, it also is a damning indictment on a coach whose whole persona is about big titles and big results. As much as his self-destructive outburst after the collapse at Southampton might have been taken as some inspirational speech, it is severely undermined by the reality of Conte's time at Spurs, which has seen his methods fail and his reputation in the Premier League dwindle. It's complete nonsense, Marcus Rashford rubbishes reports that claim he's seeking a bumper new deal worth £500,000 a week at Manchester United, insisting he and the club have been respectful during contract talks. Marcus Rashford says reports he is looking for a new deal worth £500,000 per week to extend his contract at Manchester United are complete nonsense. The England forward will be out of contract in 2024, with the club having triggered a 1-year extension earlier this season. Negotiations continue over finalizing a long-term deal for Rashford, who has been in fine form since his return from the World Cup, scoring 19 goals in 25 appearances. Rashford, though, has rejected suggestions he is holding out for a big money pay deal to stay at Old Trafford. Just before this one starts to do the rounds. It's complete nonsense, Rashford wrote on Twitter. Lionel Messi waiting for Barcelona. In a major update, Argentine journalist Gaston Edel, hat tip Albiceleste Talk, has claimed that Lionel Messi is waiting for Barcelona to make an approach for him this summer. the 35-year-old is out of contract with PSG in the summer. There had been reports of a verbal agreement between Messi and the Parisians over a new deal soon after the World Cup, but things have changed dramatically since then. PSG have tabled a contract offer to Messi, which, as things stand, is the only concrete proposal he has in his hands, despite the links to MLS, Saudi Arabia and Barcelona. However, Messi has not signed the offer that has been presented by the Ligue 1 champions. And Gaston Edel is claiming that the Argentina captain would have signed the deal already if he was 100% convinced about continuing at Parc des Princes beyond the current season. Instead, the journalist states that the 7-time Ballon d'Or winner is waiting for Barcelona, although he is not going to reject the French capital club right away, with PSG expected to return with a second offer. Everything, thus, will likely depend on whether the Blaugrana have enough margin to register Messi in the summer, amidst their financial fair play issues. The Catalans need to reduce their wage bill by a massive €200 million before summer, while also bringing in additional revenue so that they can successfully sign and register players. Haaland to Real Madrid? McManaman sees transfer happening as he debunks common theory. Steve McManaman sees Erling Haaland playing for Real Madrid in the future but does not buy into claims that he will only spend 2 years at Manchester City. Haaland signed for the Premier League champions last summer and has scored 42 goals in his debut season in England. This time last year there were tons of rumors about where Haaland would end up, with Bayern Munich and Real Madrid also interested. Despite the fact he has been at the Etihad for less than a year, there have been lots of talk about the 22-year-old's long-term future. Madrid reportedly remain interested in signing the young striker, and some interesting claims have come out of Spain over the last few months. Even before Haaland kicked a ball for City, fans, pundits and journalists made the assumption that he would conquer the Premier League and leave after 2 or 3 years. A move to Real Madrid could be on the agenda for Haaland at some point in his career, but it would be naive to assume that is set in stone. And former Liverpool, City and Los Blancos midfielder McManaman reckons the Norwegian international will play for Madrid in the future, but cannot see it happening anytime soon. McManaman insists he doesn't buy into the stories that Haaland will move on from City after 2 seasons. Asked if he believes Haaland is a future Madrid player, he told Betfred, "Yes, probably. I think he will stay at Manchester City for a long time and I don't believe he will leave next summer. I don't believe this story that Erling plans to be at Manchester City for 2 seasons and then move on, but even if he stays at the club for 5 or 6 years, then he's still young enough to go to Real Madrid." Manchester United will be hoping to move a step closer to Champions League qualification. Manchester United will be hoping to move a step closer to Champions League qualification when they face Newcastle United at St James Park on Sunday. The Red Devils currently sit 3rd in the Premier League table, 3 points ahead of the Magpies, who occupy 5th place. Since taking charge of the club at the start of the season, Erik ten Hag has enjoyed a successful spell so far, most notably guiding United to the Carabao Cup last month. United also remain in contention to win both the FA Cup and the Europa League, and their form has been helped hugely by the form of forward Marcus Rashford. The England international has been in remarkable form since the World Cup, and it appears that his current employers are now working hard to ensure he remains a United player. According to ESPN, United are set to step up contract talks with the forward before the end of the current season. Key Inter Milan midfielder unlikely to return for first leg versus Benfica with 15 to 20 days out injured. Inter midfielder Hakan Calhanoglu is unlikely to be ready to return from injury in the first leg of the Nerazzurri's Champions League quarter-final tie against Benfica due to a thigh injury. Leon Goretzka dishes on Bayern Munich firing Julian Nagelsmann. Leon Goretzka was not expecting to see his coach get booted midway through a season, especially before a tough run of games that Bayern Munich have to endure. The news surprised us, no doubt. Julian Nagelsmann is an excellent coach and a great person, he said. Like teammate Joshua Kimmich, he knows that the inconsistencies in game performances, good versus PSG, bad versus Leverkusen, contributed to a change of guard at the helm. We had great games like PSG followed by average ones like Leverkusen. That cannot happen at FC Bayern. We all here have to do better, Goretzka said. People think you're Messi. Chelsea star Kai Havertz opens up on pressure of big price tag at young age. Havertz has managed 32 goals in 128 games, including the only goal in the 2021 Champions League final, but opened up on what a big price tag means as a player. "I was Chelsea's most expensive player," he told The Guardian. "I don't understand how so much money is paid, but it is normal in football. Look at our recent transfers. That brings pressure because people think you are Lionel Messi. I was still 20, 21. People don't see that. They see the price, so you have to be great from day one. You can feel it, the tension. You read it, hear it." He has since been eclipsed by Enzo Fernandez as Chelsea's costliest player, following the midfielder's arrival in January for £106 million. Havertz has scored 9 goals in all competitions so far this campaign, looking to reach double figures when Chelsea return to action this weekend. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like and share. See you again with more news. Bye for now.